While rewatching Water 7 to prepare for our One Piece arc recaps for the series that we do, I came across the fight between Usopp and Luffy again. I mean, while watching that, it got me thinking, damn, Usopp was really selfish in this fight, and my blood was literally boiling as I was rewatching every single episode. And I thought to myself, I just had to talk more about this fight. So yeah, this is me talking about it. A quick lead up to the fight for those people that probably have forgotten, or maybe have forgotten. After the event of all their previous adventures, and Sky Island in particular, the Going Merry was pretty beat up. And after being analyzed by Kaku, the shipwright, it was deduced that the Going Merry couldn't keep on sailing, if not it would sink, and they needed a new ship. So the crew decided that they would get a new ship. But Usopp wasn't really happy about that idea, and that's where the fight came up. That's what led up to the fight, or the disagreement, and Usopp and Luffy decided to organize a duel in order to take custody of the ship. I mean, I think Usopp was being very selfish because this was a very dark time for the Straw Hats. If you think about the state of the Straw Hats at that point, Usopp just got beaten up by Frankie brothers. The money that they had for their ship just got stolen. Robin is currently missing and they've been looking for Robin. So the crew in general were all in shambles and in a shambolic state. And then to add this on top, this fight that led up to, or this fight that they had about the ship, was just making the situation of the crew a bit worse. Everybody was already morally drained and stressed based off everything that was going on at that time. And this fight that happened between Usopp and Luffy was just adding more fuel to the fire. But let's try and be fair and look at Usopp's point of view in this argument. This is a ship that was given to him by his girlfriend Kaya, who he loves and holds dear to his heart. So when the crew members of the ship, or the captain of the ship, tells you that the only memento that you have of Kaya to go on your journey is going to be abandoned and they're going to get a new one, it's understandable to feel hurt, to feel betrayed, to feel that you're abandoning a nakama. But to be honest, I just think Usopp is full of bullshit, because everybody else in the crew loved that ship and everybody else in the crew felt the pain that they were feeling in the ship. But he was too stupid to realize that every single person in the ship was going through the same emotions. Maybe his emotions were a bit more because Kaya gave him the ship, but that doesn't change the fact that every other single person in the crew, it was a tough decision. And at that point in time, he was only looking out for himself and his own emotions, and didn't understand the emotions of the crew, accusing them of several drastic things. Like, he was also going through imposter syndrome because he knows without the ship, he's nothing. Like, there is no use for him. He's not strong, he's not fast, maybe he's tactically aware. All he is a scaredy cat. And if you take away the ship, you take away Usopp's role in the crew. So that was what was really bothering him. And it showed, because he said it. He was like, why won't you abandon me too? You drop weak people whenever you don't need them. That's what you're doing with the ship. The ship is weak and you're dropping her. And here is me, I just got beat up. I caused the money to be stolen. Why won't you drop me too? So this is the main reason of the fight. It was basically imposter syndrome, or insecurity, I would say, and he was just projecting all of that emotions on the crew member and the decision to leave the ship. This stupid decision was very selfish because, one, it put a lot of strain on the Straw Hats. These are friends that have gone through journeys, and now watching them fight, especially my boy Chopper crying because he couldn't stand seeing Luffy and Usopp fight. Nami was hurt, Sanji was hurt. Sanji was trying to calm down the fight. Zoro played an important role in this fight because he was there to set the balance. When the duel happened, he was there to make sure that the duel went in the way it went. As difficult as it was for Luffy to beat up his friend, Usopp was his best friend, closest in age. They played all the time, all his jokes, he laughed at all his jokes. This was a really difficult fight for Luffy, and it showed. He said it was painful, but Zoro gave him one of the best advices a vice captain can give him, and this is one of my best moments of Zoro as a vice captain. I'm a Sanji fanboy, so I'm not really a Zoro guy, but this is one of my best moments as Zoro as a vice captain. He told Luffy what he needed to know to keep on going. Anyway, not to rant too much, this fight as a whole in general didn't need to happen in my opinion. Everybody in the crew, if Usopp could just sit down and get out of his bubble and think about his crew members and his friends and the pain that they're going through at that point, and stop projecting his insecurities on them, he would have understood that they were not trying to abandon a crewmate. They were literally putting somebody to rest to keep on going with their journey and chasing their goals. there was no other solution than this. And it wasn't disrespectful to Kaya to drop Going Merry, and they give the Going Merry fitting goodbye. But the decision to take up the fight and break up the crew for a reason as foolish as you feel insecure that the crew is going to drop you if you are not needed is just the worst decision I've seen. And people compare the situation to Sanji and to try and shit on Sanji's character for leaving the crew, but Sanji specifically left the crew for the safety of the crew and his loved ones back in the Baratie. But Usopp left the crew because he was in his feelings and he thought he was betrayed and he thought he wasn't needed anymore and he was insecure. Instead of leaving the crew and being insecure, maybe Usopp should have worked on himself and gone through this rough patch that everybody else was going through. He could have stayed and looked for Robin. I mean, I know he came back and helped as Soge King, but that to me, Soge King is a bitch personality, hiding behind your fears. And anyway, I think I've ranted enough about this Usopp fight. It was just really annoying to me while rewatching the series. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, tell me your view about this fight, and also subscribe to our new channel, Kaminari Recaps. We'll post all our recaps there. Bombs out.